Hi YouTubers, and I'm back for another What Would Have Happened If This Were in Real Life RhinoTMRT Gameplay Series YouTube video. Now, I've been trying over and over again to come up with another perfect topic of one of these, very obvious and very different, so, yeah. I mean, I kind of wanted to do this one because, it felt very great and it felt very different, and yeah, I guess it kind of does make a lot of sense, so yeah. And I figured that I would do this one, and now I'm doing it. So, yeah, and I figured that I would because I already have a topic for this one. So yeah, and I mean the fact that it's very obvious. I think I already have one. So yeah, and I'll be able to explain it in the next few like I'd say around like 29 seconds or something, or I don't know, very obvious, but at least you kind of already know how this very goes and all that. So yeah. So anyways, this is what would have happened if the Angry Birds movie free the Angry Birds movie free film were in real life. Now we cut open to the beginning where Red and Chuck and all the other birds are all enjoying their lives. They're all having a fun time, and the villains in their civilizations from the first two movies are doing perfectly well. And are, well, clearly not the bad guys anymore ever since the Angry Birds movie 2, or as I would like to say, the Angry Birds free movie, or as I would like to say, or also known as the Angry Birds free movie, would obviously play out something like this: Red and all the birds and the pigs and the eagles, or the ice eagles from the Angry Birds movie 2, are all enjoying their lives up until when they hear a distress call from a supposed redbird because, well, it's obvious that we'll get to be able to see Red's parents, and very obvious about all that. So yeah. And yeah, I guess it kind of does make sense. So yeah, this will also be the introduction of Red's parents. So yeah, and that's kind of how it is. So for Angry Birds movie free, it's basically going to be something like that. Now as we go on, Red Shark and all the other birds and the pigs and the ice eagles from the Angry Birds 2 movie find this distress call, and then they find out that one of the red birds has eventually gone to their island, and saying that they've been stating that they've been taken over. So Red Chuck and all the other birds, pigs, and now with the ice eagles, they all prepare off to find this other hidden island that will potentially send them to a red bird, red kind of a bird island. Now this kind of seems a little bit similar to Rio Free, but Rio Free was actually the reason why I have a very great necessary plot for the Angry Birds Free movie rather than Rio Free is because it has I now know that of a different storyline. And believe me, it's very obvious and very clear. Yeah. And so yeah. Anyways, Red Shark and all the other birds had to go through different areas of the ocean, and you remember that Adventure Time? If you remember that Adventure Time, that islands thing where Finn and Jake and they all had to go to the island to see other islands. Yeah, that's kind of how it is going to go for the Angry Birds movie free. They have to go to different islands in order to get to the main island, which is where the red kind of bird I planet slash world is. So it's kind of going to be some sort of like an island to island to island to island to a large island that will eventually lead them to a planet in a world far away from their planet and world, out and far away from their galaxy. So that's kind of how it's going to play out. I mean, there was also the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs free idea, which I guess kind of does feel a lot similar to that. So this kind of does feel a lot similar to the Rio free and the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs free. And here you can easily see why. So Red Truck and all the other birds, they eventually pass through all the other islands, and then get to the main one, only to find out that they need to find some sort of special key in order to unlock the island's supposed rocket ship. And so they said one of the pigs actually finds this special key, and then some sort of big bird-eating monster eventually goes after them. They all eventually go to the rocket ship, which just so happens to lead them to the red bird planet slash world. And it's only this time it brings them to a different planet and world. So they're far away from their planet and world of their galaxy, but they have to go through different other planets to get to the main one. So yeah, they all eventually go through all the other main planets, and yeah, they kind of already go. So there's sort of like a montage. So then instead of like going through the same thing with the whole island, there's a official kids slash children's movie montage, making this the first kids slash children's movie to have a montage, which with a famous 80s song, with a famous Birds song or an 80s song. I don't know because I remember the last movie having the Final Countdown song by Europe. Well, in the Angry Birds free movie, they're going to just have a montage song to getting away from all the other planets with the bird eating monsters. And then finally they get to that main planet, and then they get to that main big large planet slash world filled with lots of red birds, just like Red. And yeah, I guess it kind of does make a lot of sense. They eventually get there, and of course Chuck and all the others are eventually very very surprised by the whole red bird planet slash world. Well, the hidden red bird planet world, which of course is where, and then we also find out that this is where Red came from. So yeah, I guess it kind of does make sense. Now, I don't know if this is canon with the original. Now, please keep in mind that I don't know if this is a canon with the original. With the original Angry Birds, I think this is just my idea, my sequel movie idea. If it were to ever happen, so Red Shark and all the other birds, pigs, and the ice eagles, they eventually all go to the red bird area, only to find out that none of the red birds ever accept the pigs and the ice eagles. So they have to go through all that, and then of course Red gets captured along with their friends. Then of course they're locked away in a jail cell, which of course can't be opened, and on top of that they're stuck in chains that birds cannot. They're stuck in chains where bird criminals cannot be of the redbird planet slash world. You can't get them off, which kind of is the whole point behind all that. So yeah, it kind of feels a lot like that, but hey, at least it's fine the way it is. So Red and Chuck, they eventually try and stop the Redbird police officers from stopping them, only for the Redbird police officers to find out that find out that not only that red is actually a red bird, he's actually from a different, world and all that. That he's actually from a different planet and world. Well, technically, they find out that Red was actually born by those Redbird police officers. Those two ones just so happened to be male and female, and also they just so happen to be Red's parents. So Red's parents eventually lead them all to his family and ancestors, and then Red is actually very surprised and all that, and seeing his family and ancestors for the first time ever since he was born, because he hasn't seen them until ever since he was born, because they had to hide him away because an evil bird monster organization was planning to destroy their world. So the only way for Red to survive was by being free away from them, and that kind of does make sense. Now we finally get introduced to that evil bird monster guy. So the evil bird monster guy actually plans to destroy Red's home planet, home world where he came from. And also his parents' names are Ma Red and Pa Red. It kind of does make sense to name his parents both Ma Red and Pa Red, because I thought they look like really cool parent names and all. And yeah, I guess it kind of does make sense for me to do all that. So they eventually tell Red that they have to, then in order to save the Redbird planet, they have to they have to use some sort of weapon that they've already owned, and it just so happens they already have something that can put an end to the evil bird monster guy. So the evil bird monster guy, of course, says, "I'm gonna destroy this whole homeworld and planet. I'm gonna destroy and I'm gonna destroy all the other planets and worlds, including the one where Red, Chuck, and all the other ones have been through." Yeah, and this is also an idea from when the Angry Birds went into space with the yeah. So there's also an Angry Birds Star Wars pop culture reference in here, which is kind of the funny part. So there is a pop culture reference to that, just to let you know, and all the other stuff that they've been into: Angry Birds Rio, Angry Birds Star Wars, and Angry Birds Go Kart mobile game. All of that is a reference in the Angry Birds Free movie. And then, of course, they have to stop the evil bird monster guy and all that. And just before, and then they have one big fight and battle scene, and they try and destroy Red and Chuck try and destroy him. And then only for Terrence actually and then just when Red is about to be put away, then just when Red is almost about to die at the hands of the evil bird monster guy, the Terrence actually comes in and sacrifices himself for Red. So therefore Terrence finally talks Red and Chuck and all the other birds, pigs, and ice eagles. They eventually honor his death and all that, and yeah, you kind of get the idea. The evil bird monster guy sent to a different reality, and Red and Chuck's sister, they eventually get married, and then everything seems perfectly well, and then they all live happily ever after. The end. And then we get a post-credit scene where the evil bird monster guy eventually gives birth to a son, and then says, I may have failed, but you will go and destroy them, my general, and my bird monster general, and their lives, so you can finish my work. It will be done, my bird monster father. And then of course, cut to black. The evil bird monster guy eventually gives out an evil laugh. And that was my take on what would have happened if the Angry Birds free movie were in real life. Now, I think it's actually a perfectly good one, so yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. Peace out. Bye-bye.